everybody. Start right on time today. Oh, so, been pretty busy Tuesday so far for me. I hope it's all going pretty well for you. But today I won't have to end early, so that's nice. Oops, I forgot to open up Unity before this, so let me do that real quick. But, so yesterday, if you were here or watched the video, we were having some trouble trying to find a unique identifier for every player connection to the server. So I think I found a way to do it. Okay, it's almost loaded. Okay, there we go. And so the problem that we had, let me open up Visual Studio now, is the net ID. We don't know the net ID right away, and it won't tell us what the net ID of the player was that disconnected. So that made it difficult to tell, well, obviously if the player that disconnected was a player that, like our actual opponent, or some extra player that was trying to connect. So, but Unity does provide you with a better system, thankfully. So let's go to network tracker. So basically, let's see, these network connections, you have the connection ID, and this is actually unique identifier for well, it says right here, unique identifier for this connection, and I wasn't sure if that was persistent the whole time that a player was connected, or if it was just for this one call, and so that's why I hadn't been using it before. But turns out it is persistent until a player disconnects, and then it might change. So in order to basically, I don't think there's any really good way without using a username system to for sure know if a player reconnection is the same as the player that disconnected before. So we'll probably have like a password that you can type in when you start hosting to just let in a specific person if they know the password. So that's what we're going to do today. So let's see. So we're first gonna change this. Let's see. And the thing about the connection ID is that the clients won't know the server's connection ID, so that's why we need to pass this back. Let's see. So what type is the connection ID? I think it's just integer. Yeah, it's just an integer. And they work like the net IDs we were using before, in that they're always greater than 0, so that's nice. So we'll change this to actually I'll just change it to opponent connection ID, and this will just be an integer. I'm not even sure if we need to know the opponent connection ID anymore. So let's start off thinking we don't. So we'll just say, change this to connection ID. Right. We'll still need the rejection. So once we have the connection ID, so let's go here now. So I'm also going to change this because I don't think that the clients should really care what the their opponent net ID is, so I don't think we need to have this anymore. That's just another value that we'd have to synchronize, so I think it's easier this way. And then, let's see, we need the server information. Right here. So this is, yeah, not unsigned anymore. It's probably going to cause quite a few errors, but so host connection ID client connection ID. I'll change this again. And then here on the network tracker, so we don't do this anymore. Then, okay, so here, so the net ID is actually going to become, I'll just take that away, is this the connection? Oops. And then, okay, so yeah, I was getting confused about what this was, but this is setting the various opponents, so we don't have to do that anymore. So this is actually just here then. Oh, well, we actually don't want to set that if we reject this player. So then host. Right. I don't think we. Let's see, do we need to keep these anymore? Let's see. I don't remember what this bug fixed. But I think it would be better if we don't have to track these. So I'm going to comment this out for now. So then we just say the new network player. Same here. that's all good. And again, the reason we have to switch to, like the reason we have to send these connection IDs to the network players is because they're only consistent on the server. So on the client, for instance, it wouldn't know the ID of all the other players. So what else do we do here? Okay, so I think we... Oh, good. Okay, so then right here we set our own, or the player info connection ID. Oh, this is still an unsigned integer. So get rid of that. Okay. So that's all good. Alright, and then we just don't set this at all. So, right. And then here, so basically anytime that we have a command, I want to, instead of just sending this out all the time, I only want to send this out if it's a valid connection ID. So let's see, let's change this. Could just send the source connection ID like this. It should work. It could be kind of nice if the logic didn't have to know about this connection ID at all. So yeah, I'll see if I can do that. So we actually don't. Let's wait to set this till we know the connection ID. So then, we'd remove the source connection ID. think, unfortunately, it does still need to know because the logic will have to disregard things sent by itself, so yeah. That's okay, I guess it's not a huge deal. So no reason to do that. Right, so here just need some function, let's see. Public boolean is valid connection ID. And then this would return true if the CID equals the server info. Why does it? Oh, because it's, I would put one bracket too far down. Okay, so server info dot host connection ID, or if it's server info dot client connection ID. Network. Well, it really doesn't need to. It can get that information itself, really. It's funny. I remember listening to this song like yesterday. Alright, so yeah, let's move this out to the network player interface. So basically any command will say if is valid connection ID, and commands are always run on the server, so that means the server information will be populated. In fact, let's make sure the host connection ID is greater than 0. Maybe both. Non-server object. Okay. So yeah, but then we just need to do this for every command. And what this will do is it just won't even send out the RPC if this command originates from a player that is not the host or client, so it's just some extra player. So let's go to the net ID. I'll change this. I want to change all the net ID, the connection ID, just to make more sense. Same thing here, if is valid picked. And then go to definition and oops. There we go. And then source connection ID. Should do that. And then here, same thing. Ready net ID. I wonder if I can, if I do this peek thing, if it'll let me edit. Okay. It's kind of handy. It's RPC. Where is this called? Okay, so this is called by the server, so that's fine. Yeah, we don't really have to worry about the RPCs, it's just these commands. Okay, so here is valid connection ID. Okay, so this isn't actually sent. Loading player. Okay, so we're gonna have to edit this later. I'll just put in something bogus. Same thing here. Let's see, this action I think does include it. So action dot. Oh, okay, that's interesting. It doesn't. So yeah. We'll have to edit all these things when we get to it. So now we just need to go to the error list and fix everything. Yeah, I knew there'd be something. Alright, so here. To change these integers. Is that good? So I think, yeah, this is only run on the server, I think. I should like rename any function that's only run on the server with like, yeah, just put server on the beginning. Okay. Alright, and then here, so we need to change these again. Just make sure that it's not our connection ID. So now we're guaranteed that we'll only receive messages either originating from us or our opponent, so we just want to make sure that it's not our message. guess here it's connection ID is not equal. There's a lot here. Okay, yeah, this is all the stuff dealing with turn order. I think that fixes most of it. Right, just more stuff like this. Change this to connection ID. So, oh yeah, and this is another ready check. Yeah, this mod loading is probably going to be pretty messed up for a while, but it's okay, we'll fix it when we get to that. Okay, that is all the errors. Alright, so let's let's look and see what we have here. Doesn't have a connection ID yet. That's strange. Alright, let's go back. Turn off some of this stuff. Here. Did either that run? Just open, seeking newly connected host to 0. I thought that it specifically said that the network connection wouldn't start with 0. Oh, okay. The local connection is 0. That's good to know. Okay, because I missed that part. So what we actually need to do is set these to -1. Same thing up here, so local info connection ID equals -1. Oh, I did it backwards. This should go below. And then server info host -1 and server info client equals -1. And then this should be greater than or equal. And right here should be greater than or equal to 0. And the connection ID should start at -1. In fact, I'll set it right here. Hopefully that won't. It should never overwrite. so we don't need this anymore actually. In fact, I'll put this right here. Set connection ID. Okay, so something's happening. Don't need, oops. Don't need this either. Let's see, on the network tracker. Oh, because yeah, it equals 0. So if it's less than 0 and less than 0. And this should be greater than or equal. Play some more instances of that kind of mix-up, but hopefully we'll catch them all pretty quickly. Okay, host 0. Still didn't synchronize, how come? Okay, so it must override it. Maybe if I set -1 here, I don't know. Well, that makes sense because I bet the start runs after this code, so. But I'm surprised that for the local object that gets run right away, but. That seems to work okay. Yeah, this is what I wanted. Don't want this to be the net ID anymore. This looks good. And what happens when I try to start a client? Alright. So let's make a second object. Test this real quick. I feel like we're making some headway again. Alright, so this will join. Alright, press play. Okay. Okay, well that's normal, but yeah, this is just a display error because it doesn't run that code. So this is wrong because setting the connection ID to 0. Let's, so I'll have this host this time. We'll join so we can see exactly what happens. Okay, so the connection ID is being set right. For some reason, request mod list 2. Oh, it still lays in the net IDs, so we should change that. We don't want this net ID ever again, really. Let's leave this because we need to edit that. Okay, so let's just so this code right here never runs unless it's the local player object, so let's just remove that because we can still get the connection ID for we can still get the connection ID just by looking at it or clicking on it. This is what we need to figure out now. Oh, I got this. That. And this is what I wanted to remove before. So I guess let's run this one more time to see what's really going on. Join. Okay, so even though the connection ID is set 1 here, for some reason it sets the local info is set to 0. Yeah, we know that this is -1 because the server information is not updated on the client. But this connection ID should be 1 because it's 1 here. I'm not sure why it changes to 0. Let's try one other way to do this. Actually, instead of messing around with all this, I think it'd be better if I was gonna say I think it'd be better if we had just a boolean that would say when the object has been received, but I don't know if we can always what's the word I'm looking for? Always guarantee that that boolean or that the connection ID would be received before the boolean is set to true. So let's try it like this. Awake should be called immediately when the prefab is created. Close net 1. So build and run. Oh, close this. This song is a bit too noisy for me. Alright, it's always funny to me that the font always messes up when I reload the game. Alright, so this will host. Okay, so that time it worked. Just gotta be really careful with the timing of setting the connection ID, I guess. Okay, so now everything's playable. Let's just to test out. Let's put in our custom mod list. Alright, so clear. Okay, good. Everything seems to work. Checkers, cat chess. It's just various things. Okay, so yeah, we know that there's errors in this scene, but I just want to make sure that it loaded correctly. Okay, well that's good news. Let's see how it handles us disconnecting. So okay, so none. Things set to 0, that's good. And then I'll join. Connection 02. Oh, so it just it reuses the numbers again. Well, it's no big deal really. And so then if the host disconnects, seems like that's okay. Yeah, so here it sets the server info correctly. Let's see, the connection ID is 1. Okay, good. So that all seems to be working great. So one other thing I wanted to add is, like, theoretically, when you quit a game, somebody could try to join the game in your place, and there's no real good way to prevent that I know of. In most games, it's not a problem because it only lets somebody with the same like username and account rejoin the game, but we won't have that infrastructure. Another way to do it would be to like only make somebody from the same IP address be able to join, but I think that could have some problems too, especially like when we're testing, everybody has the IP address of localhost. So I think instead what I'll do is here in the start host, we'll let you specify let's see, how do we do this? Specify a password. So I want to copy this over. Oh, it's been post this whole time. So this would be the port field. Oh wait. So yeah, let's move this stuff down. Right, so this is not the address label, this is the password label. And password field. So password optional. Then let's just move that over. don't know why it does that. It's not letting me take out the 0, which is kind of weird, but... let's see, text. Oh, maybe because this was set to 0 here, so let's go like that. Just gonna see if there's a way. A lot of times they have custom ways to, for instance, replace all the text with asterisk, but I guess let's not worry about that for now. Okay, well, we need to change all these fields. Okay, let's go. Set a post. Alright. So we need simple value sub string to get the password text, and then simple bool sub to get the password enabled. And what was the other one? Oh, unchange. This is a messenger string password change. Oh, we don't actually need to save this, but so password text equals new. Right. Start off empty. GUI comps, get component. Oh no, we want to register. So this would be comp keys. So let's say password. Password text is fine. And then the password enabled. Why is it not like this? Oh, the key has to go first. GUI comp keys, password enabled. And then finally, we have the messenger string, password change. Component int GUI comp keys. So password change. And then we'll subscribe to it here. Okay, so we also need to add this to the setup client, and I really don't like how the host and the client have so much code in common but they're separate objects, so I'm gonna take this time to combine them since we're gonna have to work on it anyway. So let's see, where's the address? Yeah, set address field. Yeah, so this set input interactable. Actually, yeah, it's the same as this password enabled, so we can delete that. Forgot about that. Actually, before I go any further, I'm gonna delete this here. Normally it's not a good idea to rearrange these enumerations, but since it hasn't been used yet, I think it's okay. So let's see what any other changes. Support. So it's address field. What's missing here? Oh, the address change. Yeah, that's gonna throw an error for now, but so screen, and then we need these commands. Right, and so setup client. This is the same, we just need to check to see if it's also set up host. Or if it's also set up client, I mean. We need to copy and paste this. So let's move this password change down. So let's see what else. Setup defaults. Yeah, the address. And then right here, the set status field. Is there a reason that I have these separate? I don't know. Because theoretically, this value could just be the same as the address field value. but I'm not sure. There must be a reason I kept them separate, so I'll leave it. Okay, then we need to go ahead and do the password. Oh wait, password text. Okay, so let's see, is this any different? Has port but enabled, and then it gets the set port field. Okay, so this is just the same except we have this extra, which I guess we don't need anymore. Oh right, because we weren't sure if setting the port field here would cause an infinite loop, which thankfully it doesn't. Then we got the address change. Cancel, so here state stop host. Alright, so the only difference here is that we just call it the stop host if we're in the host screen right now, or stop client. So let's see. So if screen.state equals lobby screen host setup host, then we stop the host. Otherwise, if we're in the client screen, we'll stop client. Setup. Alright. And on start press, this probably has quite a bit different. So let's see. If screen state equals int lobby screen setup host, then we do this. Setup client. We do this. So let's see. We want to change these, I think. So let's change this to on server connection. Change, and then we want to have it on local connection change. That's what this will be. Alright, so now we don't need this at all anymore. So a little. So, the thing we have to do here is change this. So we want a private bool has password equals false, and then private string password. I don't really need that has password actually. So we'll change this password to empty. Password equals input, set password field, value equals input, and we'll just log it right here. Okay, so the other thing I want to do so we should combine the start host and start client screens just to keep everything the same. So that means we need to change a bunch of text here, which should be a bit annoying, but so let's just copy and paste these addresses. It'll look cleaner if this goes above, actually. So let's try and clean this up just a bit. Okay, so now we need to add label. Well, I guess we'll get to that in a sec. Okay, so we have this, and then we change this to password change, password text set, and then this is yeah, so a lot of those client messages we just won't use anymore. Then here, well, yeah, we'll just copy this. I mean, they're so similar, so I don't think there's any reason to have two. So I think that's good. So what we need to do is this button text should change either start host or join game. And then this text up here needs to change to host game or join game. So we'll do that now. Oh, and then we need something else to hide this as well. So I was just thinking that for the host game, maybe we should set this as like non-interactable, and then it would display your actual address, but that's displaying IP address isn't really a good idea. So yeah, we should probably have a little button or something over here that'd be like toggle address visible or something, but same with the password, but we'll do that later. So I guess actually this address will just be uninteractable. Alright, so we're getting so many events over here. I think it might be a good idea to have some of these things depend on the state. I just want to move on. So yeah, let's just stick with this for now. So we'll need value sub string for the title text. For start button text. And then let's see. Oh wait, so we need a bool sub here for the address interactable. GUI comps, register component, comp keys, let's say host, address interactable, right, and then let's just do these one at a time. So we have some differences here. So if screen state equals int, do we call this set defaults any other time? Okay, no, so let's actually call the rename enter screen equals screen, oh wait, it's not lobby screen, actually setup host. So then the address interactable is false. Then the set address, well, that's always set to localhost. So else if screen state equals lobby screen setup client, then we'd have all these address things. True. Okay, and so I also need to set the thanks for following me, Steph. Appreciate it. So anytime we set this interactable, we also need to probably look at the address field interactable. Start pros. So this is on the setup client. That's right. And then we don't need to change it at all if it's a host. Things Sooner or later we're gonna run into a lot of bugs with all these random fields. I don't really like the way this is designed, but so what else do we have? Title text and start button text, so register component. Oops, forgot a parenthesis. GUI comp keys. So host. Let's say start game title text. And then we have the start button text. GUI comps. Register component. Int. GUI comp keys. Start game. Start button text. Set these things here. So the title text here is host game value, and then the start button text start. So here it's join game. Start button text. Okay, so I just need to add that stuff here. Title text and then the start button. Okay, so let's see how all this works. Okay, we're missing something. Well, that doesn't help. Oh, I think I know what. Need to go to the lobby scene, and we don't need this anymore because we just combined them both into this one object. So where's that? In for field messages. So component key 18 not registered. So which one is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18. Client start input directable. So it must be. Yeah, so I need to change this to the host start input interactable. Actually, this needs to have its own thing. Alright. Yeah, so the address is grayed out. Okay, and then let's see. Everything is here. Okay. I think I might have forgotten one thing. Oh, so that's weird. We don't. Yes, that was a mistake because here we checked to see if it has a port. but we don't check to see if it has an address and turn things off and on. Yes, let's fix that now. So private void refresh start button interactable. So start button enabled, value equals has port and not string. Oops. Not string is null or empty address. Well, this is only actually so. And screen state equals int lobby screen setup host or not. Because if it's setup host, we don't care about the address, so it's fine. And then let's see. Put that down here. Might as well just set that right there. Actually, let's just search for all instances of that. Okay, so it should also equals state does not equal state connecting. Yes, that's good. Okay, I think I got them all. Okay, I think we're good now with that. Okay, so yeah, if this is good. So if there's no host, it should cancel that out. Also, if there's no port here. Okay, so now we gotta actually do something with the password. So let's make another class here. Start host command. Alright, and so what we'll have here is the start host command actually only has two things. It has the port and then password. Start client command. So this has the address. Okay, so the reason I did that is let's see. Yeah, see here we already have two arguments, and that's the most we have in the messenger or that we support. And I find that usually if you go over more, then it's usually better to just create some wrapper class. So that's what I'll do here. This is a start host, and then start client. I think I should, let's actually move this out of the lobby folder just into the base. And then new start host command, port equals port, and then password equals password. Same here. Except we'll also pass the address. And then, let's see. Moddable chess game. So right here we just need to change these arguments. Right, and then we just need to go to the network tracker. So this is command.address, command.port, and we'll worry about the password in just a second. Wait, this is the wrong one. Start client. Why is it not like that? Oh right, I have the wrong arguments here. Start, wait, wrong thing. Start host command. Right, so command.port. Okay, I think that's good. Alright, so now what we have to do since this is on the host, that means the server info will have the password, so yeah, we should save that in there. Let's exit some of this to clean up. Alright, so Unity engine, serialized fields, private. I think that the local info should also have this password, so that it can reconnect to the server if it gets a disconnection, but I'll wait to do that for now. So here, all right. And then so basically here, so we won't know set the client's password yet. So we've got another step. So we really shouldn't set this at all until we're sure that the client has the correct password. Okay, yeah, so let's public wait, it's on override void on send password. So we'll have the connection ID and then a string password. And we'll kind of just okay, so we will send the connection ID basically no matter what, but we won't record it in the server info until we validated the password. So we have the new network player connection ID equals okay, so let's see. So if server info dot password, so let's see. Equals this password. Well, I guess we should just right away reject it if we already have a host connection ID and a client connection ID. Oh wait, it's greater than equals 0 and server info client connection ID greater than equals 0. One easy way to do this is that we always know that the host is 0. The connection ID for the host is 0, so we don't really need to keep this anymore. But I guess I'll save it. We've already managed it for now. Okay, then so both are 0 then. reject it. How do we do that? Let's see if it's a bool valid password is either string is null or empty, or server info password equals sent password. Alright, so if valid password, then we'll basically set this server info So now what we'll do here is we'll always get this connection ID, and then once we get the connection ID, we'll send a command to the server which will basically ask us if we've been rejected or not, or let us know if we've been rejected or not. Server validation. So if this for now, I'll just set this. We'll also want to do something like wait for connection ID, wait for validation, and connected. It doesn't need any more than this because if it gets disconnected, it gets destroyed. This object does. So this would return. Oh yeah, this is a bool. Alright, so return false. Else. Okay, so we already checked if both were greater than or equal to 0, so now we know for sure that the server info dot client connection ID is the connection ID. And we just return true. Also return false because it has an invalid password. Alright. I'm just going to move these debugs back up. Did I miss? Oh, it's because it has a lowercase d right there. Okay, let's see. Third player try to connect. And then here we need one more if they have a bad password. So player tried to connect with bad password. format. Okay. I think so now in this player interface we'll have so when we move this initializing we just connect its connection state or yeah, let's actually change this to like the init state. Alright, so here the equals wait for connection ID. If we're not the local player, we just don't do any of this. Switch hit state, so case wait for connection ID. Alright, so now here if connection ID is greater than or equal to 0, then we want to send this command to the server. Command private void, let's see, try, oh wait, I have to start with CMD, so CMD try, let's see, connection, and then we'll pass our ID, or let's say source. Okay, so CMD try validate connection. I guess we really don't. We could just do a relay here. RPC, I mean. And RPC. So private void RPC validate connection result. So let's see. So if its state equals wait for validation, then we send the command. Okay, so this is run on the server, so I'm gonna be a little bit lazy here and just get the network tracker, and then let's see, what's the try to connect with password source. Okay, we don't know the password. Okay, so how do we get that? I guess, let's see. I guess we will add it to the local player information after all. Serialize field. String. Password. And then, let's see, in the network tracker. So we don't need any of this anymore. Let's see, so start, where is it? Start client custom. So here I'll set the local info password. And then okay, and I think one problem we'll have is that this password, I think the local info password will be null on the local client. So we'll say if connection ID equals 0, we'll set this to true as well. I'm going to go ahead and add this to the end of it all instead of just doing it plus. Okay, and yeah, we need to add the string format to the beginning. Alright. Okay, so where do we set? Yeah, let's erase the password here. So where do we set the server info password? Oh, right here on. Oh, wait, that's stop. Oh yeah, on start with port. So switch result if accepted, then we do this part. We only also care about this if the source connection ID equals our connection ID. We can actually set this up here. Okay, so if we're rejected, then we do this part. Wait, we don't want that net ID anymore. Okay, so now I can set that out. And I can set the init state to initialized. Yeah, so actually we also want this just to be default. Okay, so yeah, let's try this. I think that's all we have to do. First, let's just start a game. So, didn't get connected yet. connection seeking, so yeah, that shouldn't be true. I think. Also, did we? We didn't get any of these debugs. Or did we? Yeah, we got the newly connected to host. Oh, I know what I did. I don't do anything with this, so we'll accepted equals. So then RPC validate result source connection ID accepted. Otherwise, it's been rejected. All right. Okay, so yeah, we did get connected. Good. Yeah, we don't need this anymore actually, so. Okay, what happens when I do this? Yeah, this stays on seeking like it should. So if I set, it's very secure password. Okay, so it still does connect me, even though we have an empty password because we have the local connection ID. So now let's try to build a client and try to connect with that. Okay, so first I'll just try and join with no password. And I'll start, yeah, let's just do this default to make sure this works. Okay, so we got newly connected client. Okay, that's funny. Snap player. Let's see, so the connection, oh, it's still 1 here. Oh, I think. Yeah, I forgot to set this to connected now. So yeah, this goes. Right, so now I actually need to rebuild. Okay, so change seeking, connection connected. Oh, that's funny. So we received the mod list before the client changed to connected. Didn't really throw any errors, but well, yeah, it's not no problem, so I won't change it. Although it is a little weird. Could be the same frame though, so. So now let's try setting a password and see what happens. So we'll join a game without a password, and then I'll set password dog. Oh, that shouldn't have worked. So what do we do? Newly connect to client 1. Maybe I did the wrong logic here. So let's see, debug, log, format, new, try, connect, my password. I'm wrapping it in quotes because it could be a null string. And then so server info, password, and then their password. Okay, yes, let's rebuild this. Join with no password, and then I start with a password, and it's supposed to reject, but it doesn't. Okay, so something weird is going on there. Is it on start host with port? I set the password right there, so let's see. Log set password. So let's see, maybe there's some weird order of operation or order of execution going on. So I'm just going to start and say dog. So is that not even run? Oh, I put it in the wrong spot. So this should happen if the client is not null. In fact, let's just set it even before we call start host because it will be emptied anyway. Okay, let's try this one more time. Oh, I left it empty that time. So, dog. Okay, so now we have dog. That's correct. So, build and run. So we'll join no password and it should reject them. Okay, so yeah, that worked. So now if I try to connect, oh, let's get this state exit. So we'll have to fix that, but so now it should let us join with dog. Okay, so yeah, there's not sending it right. Also, that's noisy because I have a typo there. So what do we call this? Oh, that's silly. I didn't send it right. Alright, so string password. It gets this with the local info. I thought I had that. Oh yeah, it's called player info. Password. Let's try something actually. So where do we set that? So local info password right here. Okay, so we don't actually know. I was gonna see if we knew the connection ID right there, because then we could just set connection ID equals. Oh, but no, because we need the connection ID from the server, so. Okay, so first let's go here. Oh yeah, we need to change the state. That's the reason that the button was staying grayed out. So what is it? Choosing. Okay, so let's see if this works. Alright, so dog. Okay, let us through. Yeah, dog. Then everything should still work. Host. Pick chess, it shows up there. Okay, I think that's everything done, and just in time too. So we don't need that anymore. And reject extra connections in all scenes is automatic because all the code rejection just happens in the network player interface. But yeah, we will need to test that more once we do other scenes. Well, I guess, well, right before we go, let's just test trying to connect a third client real quick. Okay, so let's do no password, should make a difference. so that weird thing where it connects it when somebody gets rejected is still happens, but I think that will be easy to fix now. So let's see. We go to the network tracker, and then here on server disconnect. Right, that's what that was trying to fix, so we don't need that anymore. Disconnection, and then we'll do so we'll only if the server info client connection ID or server info.host connection ID, this is the only time that we'll care about disconnection. So that should fix that problem. That's pretty much the whole reason why we're doing all this stuff today, so. Right, Unity. And then we need a third. So yeah, third player tried to connect and we disconnected, but we see that we're still there. And we received the mod list from 1. I'm just gonna check back through to see if we got anything from 2, because we don't want it. Seems like it all worked. Let's see here, set connection, request, so we got 0. Alright. Then let's, yeah, so we tried to join again and we can see it rejected us again. So that's good. Let's try one other thing. So if we have 2 clients that are trying to connect, let's set one to have the password and one not to have a password. And then we'll start a game with a dog. Okay, so it's a little confusing, but we can see what happened here is one player with connection 1 tried to connect. We disconnected, or we rejected it because they didn't have the password, and then that disconnected, and then the second connection tried to connect, and then it got the ID 1. So everything's working right, even though there's 2 ID 1s there, but okay, one other thing I want to check. So if we start a game with no password, what happens if somebody tries to connect with a password? I think it will let them through, but yeah, so that's fine. So yeah, mine was nothing and theirs was dog. Since we didn't have a password, it still let them through. But we can still, we could join, but alright. So I think that is about everything for lobby networking I can think of, and we've been working on this for over a week, so I'm definitely happy to move on for now. Yeah, so I think tomorrow we'll go finally do mod validation, where we check to make sure all the mod files are correct and people don't try and do something that the game doesn't know how to handle. And then we've got to move on to this anti-cheating, and the last thing is like some kind of game over screen and like somehow to rejoin the game after disconnection. So it's good, we're making some progress. I definitely feel like the networking is a lot more solid now, so I'm happy about that. But anyway, thanks everybody for watching. Thanks again for subscribing, Steph. Hope this, or following. And yeah, everybody else, feel free to follow to be notified when I come live tomorrow, same time at 5 Eastern. And I hope to see you then. Alright, thanks again for watching. Bye bye.